Okay, as I was saying, when a brand deviates from its core and does trendy stuff, it's still forced into it. And people recognize that this is not what I signed up for. Take Star Wars and Star Trek. Nobody really likes anything anymore. Like Star Trek, every time a new series came out, people hated on the new one, 'cause it wasn't the old one. To me. The original series and the animated series are one timeline. The TOS films, The Next Generation, DS9, and Voyager, and the TNG films up to First Contact are another timeline. Enterprise exists on a new timeline that exists only after First Contact. And because Enterprise involves a lot of BS time travel. It's actually more hated than Discovery, which also does a lot of BS time travel. So within that timeline Discovery, strange new worlds also exist. The Lower Decks, Prodigy, and Picard can be either the before or after First Contact. However, I would argue that Picard cannot exist before First Contact because it involves another version of Earth in the second season. Will Star Trek stop involving so much time travel? I hate it. Picard basically tried to do the Star Trek 4 thing and failed. And Discovery basically had to write itself out of existence. That's cause Star Trek is self-inconsistent about time travel. And one of the strange New Worlds episodes literally has someone go back and try to prevent Khan, her ancestor, from being assassinated as a child. And Khan lives in Canada. Gee, thanks for that. It would not surprise me. But basically doing that is probably going to result in a lot of unintended consequences to the Indo-Canadian people. 'Cause you know, fans of television shows can't seem to tell the difference between actors and the people they play a part. Did you know that Malcolm McDowell, famous for playing villains, played the villain in Star Trek Generations and got truckloads of hate mail for killing Kirk? Even then, he is an actor. He did not write the film. And Shatner knew his character was going to die in that film. Like, good God. This is what I mean about brand consistency. You can't do things the fans do not want and get away with it unless you telegraph that is where it's heading. 'Cause the fans will just nope out. So with Final Fantasy, they basically did that with the most recent expansion, where they didn't telegraph the right parts of the story, so people just absolute hated on the main story characters relentlessly. Like, I don't think the story was bad, but after the previous 2 expansions which did telegraph exactly where it was going, Shadowbringers and Endwalker, those 2 directly lead where people thought it was going. And it was good. It was maybe not as high stakes as people wanted it. They kinda wanted to see some story-relevant characters not come back after Endwalker. But then we have this new expansion where everyone gets a brief cameo and then leaves while the action is still going up. The writers didn't get the buy-in necessary to tell this story. Well, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying that people were going to be disappointed in any story that took place after Endwalker. There's no way to up those stakes any higher. I don't think it's bad, I just don't think it was what the fans wanted. That's why I compared it to Star Trek and Star Wars. 'Cause Star Trek has jumped the shark with Discovery. Discovery is Dawntrail. Like, I gotta poo-poo the fact that the owners of Star Trek and Star Wars, heck, even Final Fantasy are like twice removed from their original creators. Like, the original creator of Star Trek died before TNG even got a second season IRC. Roddenberry died in 1991. The next generation ran from 1987 to 1994. So he died before it was done. Though his wife's voice has been the ship's computer all the way to the first Calvinverse film. And even Leonard Nimoy was in the first Calvinverse film. Duh. I'm gonna put an asterisk there. Cause continuity-wise, Spock and Scotty made appearances in TNG. And yet Scotty also appeared in Generations. Final Fantasy is a specific set of themes, and if you deviate from those themes, it's not Final Fantasy. The crossover series with Disney is a different game, even if it includes Final Fantasy characters. That is not a Final Fantasy game. Like, the biggest disservice Square Enix did was making 11 and 14 numbered Final Fantasy games. The MMORPG should have been like Final Fantasy Online. But by putting a number on them, they cannot shut them down. They will have to come out with a single-player version of 11 if they ever want to shut it down. Otherwise, the fans will cry bloody murder about this gap in the series. A Final Fantasy has named characters you play. You are deeply involved in the main story of all Final Fantasy games,